Okay, so we are going to be looking at some strategies that can actually help you to easily pass your reading and writing digital SAT. Okay, the first in the list is words in context. Conventionally speaking, in standard English language, an average word can have up to 5 different meanings on the average. All right. So you pay attention to how a particular word is used. This is very important for vocabulary questions. Vocabulary questions are questions that they will underline a particular word and then give you list of words and ask you to choose from the options which of them can replace that word as it is used in the paragraph. Do you understand now? So those are vocabulary questions. So you are not just going to pick that word in isolation, that word that is underlined in the sentence, in the paragraph. You are going to examine it and look at it based on how it is used. Now, take for example the word restrain. Restrain can have at least 3 meanings. Number one, it means to hold back physically. It also means to control emotions. It also means to limit. Do you understand? So, which side of this restraint to use depends on how it is used in the sentence. So, for example, if you say something like his classmates had to restrain him from eating the last cake, has to restrain him. Now, it's different when you say something like, I wasn't able to restrain my excitement upon winning the tournament. You understand that? Because of the way they are used in the sentence. So the thing is that when you are to look for the word that can replace a particular word, don't just pay attention to the general meaning of that word. Pay attention to how it is used in the passage. And because generally for digital SAT, you must give it to them. They don't use too much advanced words. They use simple words like restrain. Do you understand? They use simple words, but in a very dynamic way. So you must pay attention to how it is used. So that is what they call words in context. So you are not just going to take that word in isolation. You are going to read the sentence, possibly go backward and read around to understand the idea of what they are talking about. The second strategy you need is to pay attention to the type of words and state of words. All right? Type of words, it is also called part of speech. Like this word, is it a verb? All right? Is it a pronoun? Is it an adverb? Is it a preposition? Is it a pronoun? What kind of words is this? All right? You identify it because in the options, you are going to use that same type of words. The state of words means something like important. If you say important, sorry, I'm pronouncing it very like that so you can get what I'm talking about. Now, if you say important and relevant, they are not at the same state. So this cannot replace this in most sentences. The reason is because they are not at the same state. So to get to this that can replace this, that means I'll have to change this relevance to what? Relevant. Do you understand? So they can actually replace each other. So you must pay attention to the type of words and the state of words. Now, thirdly, pay attention to singular and plural relationship. Plural and singular relationship. Paying attention to singular and plural words is very, very important, especially for the writing test. For the writing test, they want to see if you can spot the error. So in the writing test, you are like an investigator. You understand? You are trying to look out for error. You are just searching for error in the sentence. That's what you're actually looking out for. So singular and plural relationship in sentences are very important. If I do something like this, it seems to me that I will not be able to attend the program, or somebody say it seemed to me. Now you see that word, it is singular. So this guy cannot be like this. It has to be like this. That is the singular plural relationship. If I do something like this, it's grammatically wrong. So somebody can write something like this. It seems to me, and then it seemed to me, and then ask you to check if the sentence is wrong. So you need to pay attention to plural singular relationship. All right. Obviously, things like this is books is very obviously wrong. Am I correct? You can't say because this is plural. So this has to be plural and plural. So you have something, you should have something like these are books. You understand now? So singular plural relationship, it's very, very important. The next thing you must pay attention to is your punctuation marks. There's one of my video for IELTS where I talk about punctuation marks exhaustively. So if you remind me later, I'll send you that video. You watch it. All right. Punctuation marks are very, very important. There's a story I don't want to talk about because of this record. It's going to take much of our time. But summarily, somebody offended the king, and the king gave a letter to go and give to his commander to execute him. And in the note was written just a very simple sentence. The king said, hang him, not let him go. Luckily for the guy, on his way, he opened the letter, because what happened was that he had an affair with the king's wife, and then he was to be executed. So when he saw this, what he did was to remove this comma here and put it here. All right. So the sentence became hang him not, as against hang him. Hang him not, let him go. So that was the guy's freedom. Just as little as comma is, change or actually practically save this person. Do you get that now? So punctuation marks are very, very important in sentences. They are actually the determinant of the meaning of sentences. The way they are used, the places they are placed, you know, things like semicolon or colon, which can explain anything that is coming after it. So what I'm trying to say in effect is this. If I have a sentence here and I have a sentence here, sorry, this sentence is explaining this that came before it. So I can use semicolon and colon itself interchangeably. But what you must take note of is that anytime full colon or colon is used, the first character must be capital. But if it is semicolon, the first character can be small letter. That is another error you should be able to spot. Do you understand that? So try to study around punctuation marks. And then the next strategy I'd like to talk about is pay attention to capitalization. In English, generally, there are 3 punctuations that can actually end a sentence. Actually, there are going to be 4. Okay. Now, it means that anytime any of these punctuation marks, the next character must begin with capital letter because they end sentences. Question mark ends a sentence if it is a question. Exclamation mark ends a sentence if it's something that is surprising. Period ends a sentence when you are done with your idea. This also. So anytime you see any of these signs, in any sentence that is being used, it means that the next character should be capital letter. And also pay attention to proper nouns. All proper nouns should be properly capitalized. Names of people, names of places, names of country, they should be properly capitalized. The next thing you need to pay attention to is time management. Time management. Here, you just need to pay attention to the fact that all questions carry equal mark unless otherwise stated. So there is no need spending so much time on a particular question. You may have cheaper questions in front of you. All right. So instead of spending 5 minutes on the question, if you try to attempt a question and you feel you are not getting it at that instant, just take note of it. All right. And then proceed to the other question, answer them, and then return back to ensure you answer that question. All right. Thank God that on the app you are using, any question you've not done, it will be shaded for you. You easily see that, oh, 23, I've not done it. 10, I've done it. Like that. So then the next is the app that is called Blue Book. Digital SAT, which is organized by College Board, did something very brilliant, which I think most other examiners are yet to emulate. They built an app that is actually the app you are going to use for the exam. So they make it available to students or test taker online. All you need to do once you do your enrollment for the exam, you download the app into your system, install it, log into your account, and then there are about 3 to 4 practices in that app. Why you need to practice with the app is because it's the same app you are going to use for the exam. So as you practice, you get familiar with the environment. So you are not going to be so surprised with too many things. Before the exam day, you are already familiar with a lot of things, including the calculator. The calculator is attached to the app in the math section. So you should be able to play around with the one in your system because it cannot spoil. So don't be afraid that don't be afraid that the app will spoil. So you can click, you can read, you can try to understand the app. Then if you obviously have any question, you let us know in the comment section, right? So then the next strategy that you need to strongly start working on is building your word bank. Yes, that's what is called word bank. That is consciously improving on the number of words that you know, consciously, deliberately. And so, what are the ways you can start building your word bank? Number one, you start from the known to the unknown. What does that mean? I know the meaning of attention. All right? But I am thinking, what other words, that is synonyms now, that can be used in place of attention? So since I know the meaning of attention, I take my dictionary and enter this word attention. And the dictionary tells me the meaning and then give me synonyms that I can use in place of the attention. So what has happened? I have learned something. From this word that I know, I've gotten other words that I do not know. Do you understand? It is a conscious thing. Another way you build your word bank is as you practice, take note of some words that you don't know their meaning. You are not familiar with their meaning, or you are not so sure of their meaning. So you write them down. At the end of your practice, you take your dictionary, look at the meanings, and then you look for how you can start assimilating them by trying to use them in your day-to-day interaction. All right? But try to use them meaningfully. Don't use them to intimidate people.